Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin tonight with breaking news. The North Dakota State Capitol is currently on lockdown. Here's a video of the scene. A spokesperson with Morton County says 14 people were arrested inside the Capitol. They say they were sitting in a circle and refused to leave. They were all arrested for disorderly conduct. We're also told there are protesters outside the building. This is all in connection with the Dakota Access Pipeline. Our sister station, KFYR TV, is on the scene right now, so stick with Valley News Live for the latest. We're also following a developing story out of the Clay County Jail. Officials tell us they're investigating the death of a Clay County inmate. Details on this case are still coming in, so check back with Valley News Live for updates on this story as well. A warning tonight for parents living near the East Grand Forks High School. An East Grand Forks man is facing charges related to the sale and possession of meth very close to the school. 37-year-old David Rodriguez is facing 3 felony counts of possession and sale of meth. He's been on the radar of drug agents when he was pulled over on a traffic stop earlier this week for not wearing a seatbelt. Officers confiscated meth and a BB gun from his pickup. Rodriguez remains in jail, and police say he has a long criminal history. Police in the Valley are asking for your help tracking down this missing teenager. He is 17-year-old Jeremy Jourdain, and he was last seen in the Bemidji area on October 31st. If you've had any contact with Jeremy or know his current whereabouts, contact Bemidji Police at 218-333-9111 or call your local law enforcement. The Morton County Sheriff's Office wants to warn hunters about unsafe hunting conditions near the Dakota Access Pipeline protest camp. Sheriff Kyle Kirchmeyer cautions hunters that certain areas in the vicinity of the protest sites are unsafe for hunters to enter. Take a look at this map. Areas south of County Road 135 to the Cannonball River and east of Highway 1806 will be closed due to public safety concerns. All other areas will remain accessible to hunters. For questions or more information, contact the North Dakota Game and Fish Department at 701-328-6300. That number is right there on your screen. To quote Hutch from earlier today, it's an outstanding day. But what about tonight? Any changes in store, Hutch?
You know what? It looks beautiful even into the evening. A perfect day outdoors. If you got home from school, maybe you spent some time running through the sprinklers. 60s to near 70 in the south. A lot of 50s up north as we finally enjoyed some sunshine after a cloudy stretch of weather. Satellite shows nothing too bad heading our way for this evening. Expect the dry weather to continue. Mostly moony skies with temperatures in the 50s all evening long. Light winds, and it just doesn't get much better than the way we are starting out the month of November. Will it last? I'll have details on our mild stretch, how long it lasts, what the weekend looks like, and we'll have all that information here for you shortly.
Maybe it'll last through December.
You know, if we can get it that far out, then that's pretty good.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Thank you, Hutch.
Yeah, you bet.
A 14-year-old girl is okay after she was hit by a commercial truck on her way to school this morning. Police say the girl was walking across 15th Street South near 15th Avenue and thought she had time to make it across the street. But she was hit by a truck traveling at full speed. It happened just a few blocks from South High School. Police say she didn't have serious injuries. There's no word yet if the truck driver will face any charges. 2 U.S. service members are dead and 2 others wounded today after an operation alongside Afghan forces in Afghanistan. The service members came under fire while trying to kill or capture 2 senior Taliban commanders. Officials say 30 civilians, including women and children, were also killed during that battle. More than 35 million voters in the U.S. have a disability. And in the last presidential election, about a third of voters with disabilities reported having trouble casting their ballots. That's according to a Government Accountability Office report. It's a problem many of these voters are expected to face again this year. But how can we make sure these barriers don't discourage participation at the polls? Samantha Jo Roth is in Washington with our story.
It's been 26 years since the Americans with Disabilities Act went into effect, requiring the government to provide people with disabilities a full and equal opportunity to vote.
It's still a work in progress, even though it's been passed.
Ian Watlington has cerebral palsy and uses a wheelchair to get around.
We're not there yet.
He says he still faces several obstacles when casting his ballot.
It's absolutely frustrating. These barriers can be locked doors to machines that are broken down.
This elementary school was used as a polling site in this year's primary.
Anybody who goes up the ramp,
And although it appears to be accessible,
there's no electric opening.
looks can be deceiving.
Imagine that there's already people here, and then you go here, the door opens outward. There's a bar in the center here, and it is too narrow of an entryway.
A recent report found this precinct operationally and structurally inaccessible, and locations like this exist all across the country.
We see challenges everywhere. They may look a little bit different.
Michelle Bishop with the National Disability Rights Network says rural areas have unique challenges.
We see even more interesting locations used as polling places. I've seen, a barn on a grassy hillside with no path leading up to it, because that's what's available in that area.
See, we're going.
Now Ian is an advocate for people with disabilities, meeting with lawmakers to raise awareness.
Here we go.
And while he admits progress has been made, he wants to keep that momentum going forward.
We haven't reached the ultimate goal yet of people having barrier-free ability to cast their private ballot. And that should be our goal.
Experts recommend voters with disabilities look into their polling places ahead of time to identify any barriers that could impact them. They also recommend looking into alternative options like curbside voting or voting absentee. In Washington, Samantha Jo Roth reporting.
If you encounter any challenges at your polling location before or on Election Day, you can call the Election Protection Hotline at 866-OUR-VOTE. We'll have more information on that on our website. Area teachers are taking advantage of the election season by creating unique learning experiences for their students. The student body at Wahpeton High School held an interactive mock national convention to learn about candidates, issues, and the election process.
And the winner is Donald Trump with 86 votes.
The students endorsed a presidential candidate, and as you just heard, the choice of the student body was Donald Trump, beating out Hillary Clinton, Gary Johnson, and Jill Stein. The kids also heard speeches from students acting as their state senator and representatives, and debated issues important to their school. Of course, those students who are 18 and eligible to vote are encouraged to do so on Tuesday. If you're looking for a new job, the latest numbers show the Valley is the place to be. North Dakota's economy took a hit with the slumping oil market, but here in the eastern half of the state, the job market remains very strong. As Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us, it's a great time for everyone to find that first job or a better one right here in the Valley.
The morning commute still offers a lot of job opportunities in the Valley, despite the western North Dakota oil slump, cutting overall jobs by 19% compared to 1 year ago. There are still 13,500 job openings, most of them in eastern North Dakota.
Some good jobs available in the eastern part of the state, technology jobs, engineering jobs, management positions, accounting, finance. So there's just a plethora of opportunities in all types of industries in the eastern half of the state.
Jobs that company showcased to 1,500 high school students from around the region during this job expo at the Alara Center. The idea behind all this is to show students opportunities for all kinds of jobs right here in the Valley after their college or technical school education.
To showcase the opportunities that exist so that the students who want to stay here long-term understand the careers that can keep them here.
An informal survey of students reveals a lot of the usual answers as to why some may prefer to leave the region after completing their education.
I'll go somewhere else, not here. It's too cold.
I kind of want to move out of town.
Why?
Try new things.
So you'd consider sticking around this area?
I would, yeah.
And according to a survey students have been filling out at this job fair for the last 5 years, there may be more and more young people sticking around.
That average is 77% of students said either agreed or strongly agree with the statement that they would more likely to consider a career within this region as a result of this event. 77% of 1,500 kids is pretty significant over 5 years.
In Grand Forks, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
Job Service North Dakota says that in Cass County right now, there are over 4,700 job openings and another 1,600 job openings in Grand Forks County. In fact, 20 of North Dakota's 53 counties have more job openings than the people to fill them. Downtown Fargo welcomed a new store today. It is one that certainly looks to fit the unique character of its business community. It's called Lost in Fargo, and it is the brainchild of Nels Hunstead. Hunstead started the Lost in Fargo clothing line a year ago with the idea of providing high-quality clothing with a Fargo connection. He now has a storefront and then some to market the Lost in Fargo line. Hunstead opened the doors on his new store this morning. It's in the basement of a late 1800s building on Main Avenue. Hunstead says it's a perfect spot to not only spotlight his wares, but also to shine a light on budding local artists. He says there's something there for almost everyone.
We're really bringing in a lot of young local artists, clothing, of course, that is our main thing, gift items, so it's really great for people that have family that want to tie to Fargo, but it's also great for people who want to support local artists and want to be a part of this community, and so it's a great place to just come hang out.
The store and gallery are open 11 to 7 Thursday through Saturday, but Hunstead says the hours will likely expand after Thanksgiving. These dehumidifiers are being recalled. What you should do if you own one. Still ahead tonight.
And un-November-like temperatures as we enjoy the start of a quiet month. And the weather, as far as rain goes, well, nothing upwind from us. All details on a nice stretch of weather coming up right after this.